Welcome back to 32 team 2013 franchise. Week 4 is completed, so we'll look at week 4, the stats, and then we're going to just take a deep dive into the league. One quarter through the season, 3 more quarters to go. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. Week 4 started out with the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. Seahawks win 34-31 in overtime. This was right after the Matt Schaub extension for 2 years, $50 million extension. Played really well. 305, 2 touchdowns. He's been pretty good for the Cardinals. They have 2 wins already. I think they had 2 wins last year. But Russell Wilson, really good game. Really, really good player. Marshawn Lynch, good game. Russell Wilson, even better on the ground as well. Beanie Wells for the Cardinals had 2 touchdowns. Zach Miller, not the Zach Miller, not broken leg Zach Miller. This is the other Zach Miller for the Seahawks. Has 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. Larry Fitzgerald has a good game. Andre Roberts, Delaney Walker both catch a touchdown, and Golden Tate caught a pass, which happened to be a 5-yard touchdown. Um, so Seattle wins 2 straight against the Bills, and the Cardinals they move to 2-2. Very good for them, and a good division win in overtime there. Minnesota, Carolina. Minnesota falls to 1-3 under new head coach Jim Godwell after winning their first game of the year against the Lions, who aren't very good. Uh, 24-point loss. Christian Ponder without Adrian Peterson, he's just not that good. He just isn't that guy. Cam Newton is that guy. 5 touchdowns, 498 yards. Had a good game on the ground. Peyton Hillis got a touchdown. Davis Murray is fine in Adrian Peterson's absence, but not great. Marquise Goodwin, really good game. Greg Olson, really good game. Michael Jenkins, good game. You notice you don't see Brandon LaFell on here, is because he didn't have a catch, and they're looking to trade Brandon LaFell. He's a trade candidate. Uh, has been back, yeah. So Brandon LaFell, kind of been phased out of the offense, is a trade candidate. He's a name to watch on the block. Um, Good game. Jamie Collins, rookie, got half a sack. He's been placed in the starting lineup. Luke Kuechly, obviously really good. Josh Norman, 2 interceptions. Desmond Trufant, rookie, had one as well. I don't remember why Sam Martin attempted a field goal, but he did. Maybe Orlando Moore got hurt. Actually, I think he did. But he missed an extra point and a field goal anyway, so he might be on his way out. He did get hurt, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I think I posted him on IR. It doesn't matter. Carolina wins. Watch Brandon LaFell's name for a trade candidate. Philly, Washington. Washington, great win last week. This week they're not able to do that. They lose this one 31-24. Philly, really good game from Michael Vick. Really good game from RG3 as well. Uh, Still no LaShawn McCoy. Eddie Lacy gets another touchdown. Um, Jeremy Maclin, somebody that maybe be traded, might be traded. He needs a new contract. And they just signed Brian Hartline to a bigger contract. Obviously, Brent Selleck's been playing really good. Deshaun Jackson also kind of isn't being great so far. Jason Avant, obviously, they have a lot of weapons on this team. So with Jeremy Maclin needing a new contract, he is someone we could see be cut or not cut, a trade candidate and closer to the deadline than here in week 4. Um, so Washington follows up their first win with their third loss. They're 1-3. Philly gets back on track with a good division win. Chicago, Atlanta. Another really good game for Matt Ryan. He's probably going to win another MVP. Jay Cutler, not so much. Not a great game. Matt Forte, good game. He's also a free agent this offseason. Interesting to see if they decide to pay him. No Julio Jones, no problem for Atlanta. Harry Douglas, good game. Brandon Marshall, good game. Waddy White. I can't pronounce his name. Alshon Jeffrey. Just got some names down here. Major Wright. Well, he's the game of tackles, but Carolina, or not Carolina. I saw Julius Peppers said Carolina. Or Julius Peppers. Jabril Peppers plays for the Patriots. I'm all over the place right now. Yeah, good win for Atlanta. Chicago was playing really well after a terrible loss in the first week. Graham Gano with the Falcons. Obviously, Matt Bryant's out for the year, so Graham Gano is the kicker now. Robbie Gould misses 2 field goals. That's not good. Field goals haven't been great this year. A lot of guys are missing field goals. So he makes those 2 field goals, they win. But good win for Atlanta. Jacksonville. Baltimore gets back on track with the win. Chip Kelly and the Jacksonville Jaguars just aren't that good. Was expected, so you can't really go after Chip. Chad Henne, really bad game. We could see Blaine Gabbert. Joe Flacco, good game. His first good game of the year. Maurice Jones-Drew, good game. He's the whole entire offense. Ray Rice got hurt. I don't know if it was a serious injury. You're going to have to obviously check all that in this video. Vonta Leach, 2 touchdowns. Baltimore moves to 2-2. That's good. That's big. You need that. Got a slow start, but I think they'll pick it up. Detroit, Green Bay. Detroit is 0-4. Jim Schwartz could be out sooner rather than later. They have a bye in week 5. They won't fire him during the bye week. They'll give him maybe 1, maybe 2 more weeks. Got to get this team together. They're a talented team, but they're 0-4. Green Bay is 4-0 on the other hand. Matt Stafford's playing good football. Aaron Rodgers, really good game, of course, hasn't done an interception so far. Rookie Giovanni Bernard's finally getting some play time and is making the most of it. Robert Woods caught a touchdown. Calvin Johnson caught a touchdown. Jermichael Finley caught all 3 of Aaron Rodgers' touchdowns. They're 4-0. They look like a Super Bowl team. Obviously, this team won the Super Bowl not too long ago. They made the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, went 15-1. Obviously, the Giants happened. Last year, they go 9-7. As they get in the 6th seed, lose to the Bears. Now they're 4-0, look poised for maybe another Super Bowl run. Steelers, Colts. Colts are 4-0. Steelers are 1-3. Could Mike Tomlin be out soon? I mean, they're 1-3 last year. They were 5-11. They won the Super Bowl 3 years ago, but since then it hasn't been great. Andrew Luck, good game. And Ben Roethlisberger, not a good game. Andrew Luck also added 2 rushing touchdowns. Both rookie running backs looked pretty good. Sammy Schroeder caught the only touchdown in this one. Chris Thompson, once again. I don't even know if they want, like, when Reggie Bush comes back, as I think is this week or maybe next week for the Colts, do they even want him back? I mean, with how well Chris Thompson's playing, he might just assume that role over Reggie Bush as the starting running back. Robert Mathis continues his tear with 2 sacks, and Pat Anger has 3 interceptions, with Cavill Connor having 1. Colts are 4-0. No Bruce Arians, no problem. Cincinnati, Cleveland. This game was fun. Cleveland, like Brian Hoyer, might be the guy. Mark Trestman might be the guy. Obviously, they're 1-3, you know, but they've been competitive in every game. They've been in every game. They have the win. They had 2 wins last year. They have 1 this year. Really, they should have 2. They should have won this one, but a drop pass by Josh Gordon leads to an interception in overtime. It was like the second play of all overtime was an interception. Bengals get the ball after the interception. They throw an interception. So back-to-back interceptions. Browns have the ball. They run it with Trent Richardson. He fumbles. It's returned for 6. That's how they lost this one. They fumble 6 in overtime with back-to-back-to-back turnovers in overtime. 3 plays, 3 turnovers in a row. Neither quarterback played exceptionally well. They both played all right. Brian Hoyer, 3 of 3, a touchdown with 2 picks. Andy Dalton, 278, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Both completed over 60% of the passes. Trent Richardson, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble. Obviously, the fumble was returned for a touchdown. Had another rushing touchdown there by James Devlin. 2 touchdown catches from Armin Binns, 1 from Deion Branch. Got some sacks here. Frosty Rucker got 1. None from the first overall selection. A couple of interceptions, and the touchdown was it was Jason Allen, had the defensive touchdown in overtime, won the Bengals the game. Kicking was good. Browns fall to 1-3. Bengals are number 1 in the AFC North at 2-2. While the Jets are number 1 in the AFC East at 3-1, as they win this one 28-20 over the Raiders. Really good game for Mark Sanchez, who has yet to throw an interception on the season, as well as Aaron Rodgers. Carson Palmer, good game. We don't know if he's going to be back with the Raiders next year, but he is playing really good football. Rashad Mendenhall, good game. Joe McKnight, his first carry was a fumble. Didn't matter, though. Cordell Patterson, first-round pick, having his breakout here soon. 8 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Darius Hayward-Bay, good game. Ronaldo McClain, good game from him. Antonio Cromartie, 10 tackles. Calvin Pace had 3 sacks. Nick Folk had a field goal blocked, and Sebastian Janikowski had a field goal missed. That field goal blocked was actually going to get returned for a touchdown, but Mike Glennon made a saving tackle. It was his first quarter, 7-0. He made a tackle at like the 5-yard line. Mike Glennon, backup quarterback, who was the holder, saved a touchdown there. I think they ended up kicking a field goal on that drive. So, a little good hustle play by him. Tennessee, Houston, Tennessee's really bad. Mike Munchak probably has 1 or 2 more weeks to try to save his job, has to get a wins. The Ryan Fitzpatrick experiment through 2 games hasn't worked at all. They're going to still rock with him for another week, but yikes, it's been bad. Geno Smith looked good, added a rushing touchdown as well with the passing touchdown. Arian Foster, good game. Ben Tate, good game. I mean, they ran the ball really effective, 3 rushing touchdowns. Andre Johnson, James Rodgers had good games. Tennessee isn't good. They're 0-4. Quarterback situation's bad. J.J. Watt, good game. Mike Munchak might not make it through the season like the report said. Chargers, Broncos, Mike McCoy's return to the Mile High. And they were in it there for a while, but man, this Broncos team is good. Peyton Manning, 4 touchdowns, 416 yards, a perfect passer rating. It's really between him. So far with 1/4 through the year, it's Manning or Ryan for MVP in my eyes. Phillip Rivers, good game. Noshawn Marino, Willis McGee both got touchdowns. I mean, Demaryius Thomas, look at that. Wes Welker. Obviously you got guys down here. Jacob Tamme. Eric Decker, another trade candidate, really just isn't involved in the offense. Adam Thielen, undrafted free agent rookie, is getting more snaps than Eric Decker. Only had 1 catch, but it was a touchdown. He has 2 catches on the year, both for touchdowns. I want to say. I could be wrong, though. But yeah, this Broncos team's really good. They're really good defensively. They're really good on offense. I mean, they didn't punt. They didn't punt the whole game, and they're 4-0. There's 3 teams undefeated, It's the Packers, it's the Colts, and it's the Broncos. Giants, 49ers. 49ers lose this one at home, back-to-back home losses. Um, Colin Kaepernick, all right. I mean, he really isn't that good. He completed 66% of his passes, but a lot of those were checkdowns. San Fran, if they disappoint yet again, if they miss the playoffs again, not only could we see Jim Harbaugh out as head coach, but we could see a new quarterback. Colin Kaepernick was not great last. He was okay last year. I think he went 8-6 as a starter, which is good. You know, through 2 years, I want to say he's 10-8 as a starter, but he has the rushing upside, but passing wise, he just isn't that accurate. He misses a lot of easy passes. Eli Manning, really good game. He's making himself to look like a top five quarterback right now with how he's playing. Colin Kaepernick, like I said, he adds a lot on the ground. He does have fumbling issues, but 7 rushes for 114 yards and a touchdown is really good with Frank Gore as well. I mean, that back and the Michael James, that backfield is good. Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz, both really good players. Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree also got touchdowns. New York is 3-1. They're looking to make the playoffs after missing it last year. Super Bowl champs 2 years ago. Looking to get back into that. David Akers kicked this game. I think he missed 2 field goals. I don't even remember. I cut him right after the game. They signed Brandon McManus. So David Akers looks to be like he's going to retire unless he has a homecoming to Philly, which probably won't happen because I forget who's Philly's kicker. That's check. We can check. We can do that. Philly has Alex Henry, who's pretty good. So David Akers' career looks to be done. He's probably going to retire after this year anyway. Dolphins, Chiefs. Chiefs are good. 24-point fourth quarter. Alex Smith, 4 touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill, 3 interceptions. Jamal Charles, really good game. DeAndre Hopkins, rookie, first round pick, 6 catches, 4 touchdowns. All the touchdowns were thrown to him. Travis Kelce had a good game as well. Dwayne Bro. Tyler Eifert, the other rookie tight end, caught touchdown. He's having a really solid season, a rookie of the year candidate. Yeah, Miami falls to 1-3. Joe Philbin. Last year they started out really slow with under Tannehill and Philbin, and they really picked up the second half of the season. They finished 8-8, almost made the playoffs. If they would have beat New England the final week of the year, I think they would have actually got in as a 6 seed over the. Who did get in? Who was the 6 seed? The Bengals. I think if they would have won that one, they would have got in over the Bengals. But they lost to the Patriots, and this year they're starting out slow again, but they are a second half football team. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tampa Bay 1-3 on the year, not great. Josh Freeman's playing good ball. They don't really want to pay him though. Greg Schiano, head coach. Him and Freeman don't really get along that well, and see if they actually decide to pay him this offseason. He's been really good over the past season, and a fourth in the past 20 games. He's been really good. Drew Brees really good. The Saints look to make the playoffs. Sean Payton's coming back from his Bounty Gate suspension. Darren Sproles played in this one but got hurt. Mark Ingram has 2 interceptions or 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Graham, Mike Williams, Jordan Shipley, Austin Collie, Doug Martin, Lance Moore, Ryan Taylor all caught touchdowns. A lot of touchdowns to go around in this one. But yeah, Sean Payton comes back from his suspension, has the Saints rolling, have him looking really good offensively. They went 8-8 last year without him. They're probably going to win more games, I'm willing to bet, this year with him. So that is week 4. That is the week 4 week recap. Week 5 starts with the Jaguars back on Thursday night against the Steelers. 1 p.m. games are the 49ers Commanders, Jets Bills, Eagles Giants, Colts Vikings, Panthers Saints, Texans Ravens, Cowboys Bengals. 4 p.m. slate is the Browns and Titans, Patriots Dolphins, Rams Seahawks, Raiders Broncos, Raiders Broncos, and then Buccaneers Falcons on Sunday night, and the Chargers and Chiefs on Monday night. This is probably a must-win game here for the Titans. If they lose this one, Mike Munchak is probably out. They start at 0-5, their season's over. Now you start playing for Blake Bortles. Top quarterback in this class, Blake Bortles. They need a quarterback. Unless they want to go out and get Johnny Manziel. So I would consider this a must-win game for the Titans at 0-5 or at 0-4. If they lose out, they fall at 0-5. So now let's get into the league report. 4 games in. Take a look at the standings. The Packers, Broncos, Colts are all undefeated. Falcons, Eagles, Jets, Texans, Giants, Saints are all 3-1, with the Patriots and Rams both 2-1. They both had bye weeks. Bears, 49ers, Chargers, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, Seahawks, Cardinals, Panthers are all 2-2, with the Bills being 1-2. Obviously had their bye week with a negative point differential of 20. Cowboys also 1-2. They were on a bye. Dolphins, Jags, Raiders, Bucks, Browns, Vikings, Commanders, Steelers are 1-3. And at the bottom, with no wins, are the Lions and Titans. With I mean, look at that point differential. I don't feel like doing the math, but you can take one look at it and say, wow, that's pretty bad. Let's look at the standings around the divisions. Bengals lead their divisions, followed by the Ravens, Browns, Steelers. Steelers at the bottom of the division. That's not something you see very often for 2 years in a row, near the bottom. Colts, Texans, Jags, Titans. I wouldn't really consider any of this a surprise. Jets at the top of the AFC East at 3-1 on a 3-game win streak, with the Patriots behind them, the Bills and Dolphins at the bottom. Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. Look, look at the point differential for the Chiefs. That's insane. It's because those 240 bombs in back-to-back weeks. Romeo Crennel has his team rolling. Although, if they miss the playoffs, we could see Romeo Crennel out. Packers, Bears, Vikings, Lions. Vikings, 3-game losing streak. They need Adrian Peterson back ASAP. Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Buccaneers. Buccaneers obviously were at the top of the division last year, now at the bottom. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders in the NFC East. Nothing really shocking here. Rams at the top of the NFC West through their first 3 games, with the 49ers, Seahawks, and Cardinals all tied at 2-2. So that is every team's record. Get into the statistics. I forgot to show, as you can see, yeah, here you go. Cam Newton, Peyton Manning were offensive players of the week. Josh Norman and Pat Angerer were the defensive player of the weeks. We'll get into team stats first. Offensively, the number 1 offense is the Falcons. Broncos behind them. Got the Panthers. Not really a lot of surprise. The Browns being the 5th best offense is kind of a surprise, though. You don't have that. Oh, this isn't. This is, yeah, okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Browns are 5th. There's the Saints. The Commanders are up there under Bill O'Brien. Not a lot of shocks. The Rams are up there, kind of shocking. So the Browns and Rams being up there is a little surprising. The Jets having a much better offense than they did last year. The Cardinals as well. But when you get down, you're saying, okay, where's the Patriots? They have the 2nd worst offense in the NFL, only ahead. The only team worse than them is the 0-4 Tennessee Titans, and they are behind the 0-4 Detroit Lions. That's awful. The Patriots, like I said, they don't have weapons. Danny Amendola, Brandon Lloyd, and Julian Edelman are the guys out wide. Obviously they have Gronk, but they're missing Aaron Hernandez. He's in prison, so that was a big loss. You let go of Deion Branch, who's having a good year in Cleveland. You let go of who else did they lose? Wes Welker, the big one. Yeah, they let go of Wes Welker because you wanted to replace it. You said, all right, we have Wes Welker or Julian Edelman. They'd rather have Julian Edelman, who's cheaper and they think is just as good. Obviously, he had the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl without Wes Welker. But at the end of the day, you need talent to win football games. They just don't have a lot of talent on offense, and Gronk isn't having as good as the year as he did last year. The worst passing offense is the Titans and the 49ers, Jags, Eagles, and Patriots. The best are the Falcons, Broncos, Chiefs, Panthers, Giants. Rushing offense, the best are the Ravens, 49ers, Texans, Jets, and Eagles. And the worst are the Bengals, Patriots, Lions, Falcons, and Titans. Points per game, the Titans average 9.3, which is the worst. And the Chiefs average 36, which is the best. Calvin, get off my desk. Thank you. The Broncos right behind that with 35.8. Falcons also in 30. Saints in the 30s. And the Giants in the 30s. Most passing touchdowns is a tie between the Falcons, Broncos, and Chiefs. Rushing touchdowns is the Browns with 6. And the most first downs gains are the Browns. That is very impressive. Like I said, Cleveland they are 1-3. But they are better than what their record shows. The least amount of first downs is the Jaguars at 39. through 4 games. That's less than 10 first downs a game. Why is he? Okay. Defensively, let's get into defense. So the Patriots are winning football games. You may have looked at the offense and say, okay, how are they 2-1 in the Super Bowl? Among the Super Bowl favorites. Defense, Matt Patricia in his second year as defensive coordinator is turning a lot of heads. Last year they had the number one defense. This year they have the number one defense through 4 games. The defense is really, really good. Really, really good. The Colts are number 2. The Packers are number 3. Texans at 4. Cowboys at 5. Um, the Bears and Eagles aren't as high as I would expected them to be. The Seahawks aren't as high as I expected them to be. Same with the Bengals. Titans don't have an awful defense. Um, Ravens are lower than I thought. The worst defense is the Vikings, which was their issue last year, and they focused heavy on defense in the draft, but it doesn't seem to be working. Best passing defense: Patriots, Cowboys, Colts, Bills. Packers, the worst, are the Vikings, Broncos, Buccaneers, Falcons, and the Raiders. Best rushing defense are the Colts, Packers, Rams, Texans. Worst are the Giants, Browns, Jaguars, Cardinals, Titans. Most amount of points allowed are between the Commanders and Vikings. Why do you keep coming up here? You can't be up here. 129 points from the Commanders and Vikings. Steelers 127 allowed, and the Browns are 123. Bengals 115. At least the Colts have allowed 39 points through 4 games. Packers have allowed 50. Texans have allowed 58. Patriots have allowed 60. 20 sacks from the Bears, 16 from the Texans, 4 from the Falcons. 5 fumble recoveries from the Bears and the Steelers, 0 from a lot of teams. 8 interceptions from the Chiefs, 0 from the Cowboys, Rams, Patriots, and Bills. Man, you really want attention today, Calvin. My cat is going crazy. Conversion rate. The most third down conversions are the Rams. The most attempts are the Jets. The least amount are the Dolphins and the Cowboys. Third down percentage, the highest percentage is the Rams at 63%. The lowest is the Jaguars at 26%. Fourth down conversions, the most attempted are the Steelers, Bills, Broncos, and Lions. The least are, oh no, that's conversions. The most converted are the Steelers, Bills, Buccaneers, and Lions. The least converted are the Rams, Broncos, Patriots, Bears, Jets, and Eagles, all with 0. Although the Broncos and Jets or Bears have not attempted one. The most attempts go to the Lions with 8. The Titans with 7. Steelers have 6, and a bunch of teams have 5. The least attempted are the Broncos and Bears with 0. Rams and Patriots have 1. Best percentage is 100%. The worst is 0. 2-point conversions, 2 for 2, 2 for 2, 1 for 2. Blah, blah, blah. 100%, 0%. Red zone efficiency. The most red zone offensive trips is the Falcons. The least are the Titans. Most offensive touchdowns in the red zone are the Saints. The most field goals are the Falcons. Red zone points percentage. The Ravens leave the red zone 92% of the time with points. Same with the Bears. The Chiefs leave the red zone with points 57% of the time. Yet they still have 40 points in both of the last 2 games. Red zone defensive trips. The Broncos have the most. The Patriots have the least. Who lets up the least amount of red zone points is the Colts, only allowing a points scored 60% of the time, while the Patriots and Packers allow 100% of the time. Field goals allowed, the Broncos allow the most with the Jaguars, and touchdowns allowed are the Commanders and Buccaneers and Bengals, with the Colts being the least. Penalties. The most penalties go to the Bengals at 36. That is a heck of a lot more than the next team, which is the Commanders. The least are the 49ers. Turnover margin. Steelers, Seahawks, and Chiefs have the best with 5. Cowboys have the worst with 6. The Rams and Patriots have 5. The Patriots are being really uncharacteristic. That's why I don't think they can win the Super Bowl. They were really good last year, not so good this year. Giveaways, most to Titans, least to the Seahawks. takeaways, most the Steelers and the Chiefs, least the Rams, Cowboys, and Patriots. Patriots have no takeaways. Wow. I didn't realize that was that. I mean, obviously their defense is good because they don't allow points. They don't need it. They force the most punts, but yikes, no takeaways. They are not Super Bowl contenders in my eyes. So that is the team stats. You get into the NFL. Let's go division. We'll go division by division. We'll start with the AFC North. So only 4 quarterbacks have actually played. Brian Hoyer has the most yards. Yeah, first we'll go division, then we'll just look at like the top 5 statistically through the league. Joe Flacco is having the least amount of yards. You see just Brian Hoyer is making a name for himself. Excuse me. Over these past 2 years, Brian Hoyer's been really good. 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,500 yards. He's been really, really good these past 2 years. Ray Rice leads he's out for 2 weeks with a shoulder tear. But Trent Richardson, Le'Veon Bell, Bernard Pierce, the Bengals, obviously the first Bengal on here is Tharod Stevens Howling, who is not very good. That's been the biggest issue for the Bengals is they can't run the football over the past 2 years. They have Monty Bell, rookie they drafted. He isn't very good. Just see a lot of guys down here. Travis Benjamin leads the division. AJ Green, Torrey Smith, Antonio Brown, all right there. Jericho Cotchery. Deion Branch, obviously, Patriots let him go. Look at his statistics. Last year he was really good. 716 yards, 6 touchdowns. Patriots let him go. They want to pay him. Part of the reason why they're so bad. James Laurinaitis leads the division in tackles. Sacks goes to Terrell Suggs and James Harrison. Interceptions goes to Jimmy Smith, Ladarius Webb, Joe Hayden, and Troy Polamalu. Kicking, every kicker is 100% except for Sean Schwisham, who has missed a field goal, and Justin Tucker has missed an extra point. The Steelers punt the most. The Ravens punt the least. No touchdowns. That's AFC North stats, statistically wise. AFC South, Andrew Luck, the best quarterback in this division. Geno Smith, rookie, very good. I mean, somehow this Chad Henne, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jake Locker are not good. But when you have probably 2 of the best upcoming quarterbacks, obviously Andrew Luck's already a top 5 quarterback, but Geno Smith is an upcoming rookie of the year candidate. In the same division, that's going to be, could that be the new Manning Peyton? Or not Manning Peyton. That was a smart statement. The Brady Manning. Obviously, they're not neither one of these guys. Well, Andrew Luck might get there because he's really good through 2 years, but I don't think Geno Smith is a Manning nor a Brady, but he's good. Chad Henne. I mean, these guys aren't good. None of them are. They're complete trash. We could see Blaine Gabbert any day of the week. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been awful since coming to Tennessee. And wasn't very good in Buffalo. I mean, he was really good last year. If you look, well, I wouldn't say really good. He did what he had to. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, completed 63% of his passes for 3,485 yards. He did exactly what he was asked to do, but they knew they could upgrade, and they did when they went out and drafted DJ Manuel. But we get to the Bills later. Maurice Jones-Drew, obviously the best running back in this division, who's healthy because you have, or he's not even gonna show up on here, is he? Yeah, no. You have Mike or Chris Johnson, but he's hurt always. There's Ben Tate with his 3 touchdowns. Arian Foster also really, really good. Kobe Fleener really good. The top 3 guys receiving wise are all Colts. That's pretty funny. Bunch of touchdowns to go around. Defensively, Paul Pelesny has the most tackles. J.J. Watt with the most sacks. And Pat Anger with 3 interceptions. Phil Dawson, they're all 100% other than Phil Dawson, who's missed 1 extra point. No shock to nobody. The Jags punt the most. The Texans punt the least. No. Oh, no. Arian Foster has a punt return. Nice. AFC East. Ryan Tannehill has the most yards, also has the most interceptions. Um, Mark Sanchez, as you can see, having a really good year, 7 touchdowns, 67% completion percentage. So he won the quarterback job. He beat out Mike Lennon, who was the real threat. Obviously, Tim Tebow was kind of just thrown in there. So he got cut. Um, but he's having a really good year. Is Sanchez back? Through 4 games, he is. Tom Brady completing 70% of his passes, but 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Last year, turnovers were his issue as well. Um, he had 15 interceptions, but he did have 38 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to get to 38 touchdowns this year. He'd be lucky to get to 28. And he definitely won't get to 5,000 yards because right now he's on pace to throw, what, 8, 16, to 3,200 yards. Um, so we'll see what happens with him. I don't think he's going to be as good next year. And then Manuel, EJ Manuel, having a good season with the rookie, the rook from Florida State. You see, we'll take a look at Mark Sanchez's stats to see how he's improved. Last year, he only had 17 touchdowns through the season and 9 interceptions. This year is 7 touchdowns through 4 games, so he's on pace to throw 28 touchdowns and more yards too. So Mark Sanchez is back. Lamar Miller, Sean Mendenhall leading rushers. Not a lot of offense in this division to say the least. Tyler Eifert, the best wide receiver statistically. I mean, see, Gronk isn't having the season he had last year. Last year he had almost record-breaking numbers: 1,409 yards, 13 touchdowns. This year, I don't think he's going to sniff that. And then you have Brandon Lloyd, you have Julian Edelman, and you have Danny Amendola for the Patriots. Carlos Dansby, 31 tackles. Sack leaders Marcel Darius and Gerard Mayo with 5. And Richard Marshall has 3 interceptions. Gostkowski and Ryan Lindell are both 4 for 5. Nick Folks 3 for 5, and Dan Carpenter's 1 for 3. Didn't he get hurt? Yes, he has a dislocated elbow. He's getting placed on IR. He's going to be out for the year. They'll go sign Brett Maher. Everyone's perfect on extra points except for Dan Carpenter. The Jets punt the most. The Patriots punt the least with rookie Ryan Allen. Lamar Miller has a punt return. That's fun. AFC West. Peyton Manning, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You see Alex Smith having a really good year as well. Alex Smith last year got benched. Having a much better season already. Had 8 interceptions last year through, 4 games maybe? Does it say how many snaps he actually took? 315. So I would say probably around 4 games. This year he has 3 interceptions. So very good year. Very good quarterback. Philip Rivers having a good year and Carson Palmer having a good year. So this is probably the best division of quarterbacks in the AFC. Running the ball wise, not a lot to really go on. You have Darren McFadden, you have Jamal Charles, Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, Greg Jennings, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Denarius Moore, Dwayne Bowe, Jacob Tammy, Travis Kelce, Jamal Charles. Got a bunch of names. Josh Bellamy, another trade candidate, as well as Eric Decker, like we said earlier. Ronaldo McClain, most tackles. Philip Wheeler, Von Miller, and Justin Houston, most sacks, with Kendrick Lewis having the most interceptions. Here's the kicking stats. Here's the punting stats. The Broncos punt the least, and once again, probably nobody's surprise. And those are the kick and punt return statistics. Now we get to the NFC. Aaron Rodgers, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Good season from him. Jay Cutler, good season so far. Although no, I wouldn't call that good. 57% completion percentage is not good. Christian Ponder, not as good as he had last year. Matthew Stafford, not playing great so far. We might see Kellen Moore. I'm just saying, if Matthew Stafford keeps playing like this, we could see Kellen Moore. Colt McCoy got in garbage time. Josh McCown got in garbage time. Matt Forte, Latavius Murray. Obviously, you have Adrian Peterson in the division, but he's hurt. Is he back yet? One more week till AP is back. Last year, Adrian Peterson was really good, 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns, but he only played 14 games. This year, he's played one game. He played 16 snaps before getting hurt. So in 16 snaps, he had 8 carries for 71 yards. Um, so they need him back. Muhsin Muhammad, the 40-year-old wide receiver at 59 overall, is actually having a pretty good year. Last season, I don't even think about jumping up here. He had 117 yards and 1 touchdown with wherever he was. I don't even remember. But Brandon Marshall, good year. Micah Finley, Percy Harvin, a trade candidate at the deadline. Was traded in real life in the offseason, 2013 offseason. Last year had 17 or 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. This year isn't as involved in the offense. He's on the last year of his contract. So if the Vikings continue to suck, we could see him get traded. Obviously, he was an All-Pro, or I think he was an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. He could get traded if he continues. If the Vikings continue to suck and they want some more draft capital, to somebody who's willing to pay him. Because if the Vikings are bad at the deadline, Percy Harvin will be gone. Because there's no need to pay him. He's going to rebuild mode under Jim Caldwell. Julius Peppers leads in sacks. Brian Urlacher leads in tackles. Chris Greenwood and Desmond Trevant lead in interceptions. Here's the kicking stats. Here's the punting stats. That's the NFC North. NFC South. You have reigning MVP Matt Ryan, who's having another really good season. Obviously, just got that extension. We'll take one more look. I just love looking at his contract because it's insane. Last year, I mean, in the past 2 years, he has over 6,000 yards passing, or the last year in 4 games, 16, over 6,000 yards passing, over 60 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. He's really good. Um, and obviously, he got that contract. So this is kind of their maybe their last year of their window per se to win a Super Bowl because next year Matt Ryan's cap hit is going to be 45 million, and then they're going to have to pay Julio Jones here soon. So you have to pay Julio coming up. Matt Ryan's cap hit's 45 million, and then it only gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until 2019, where it goes from 55 million all the way down to 30 million, because that's when the guarantees stop after the 5th year. So the Falcons kind of have a window, which is this year, which I think they have a chance. I think they have a chance. Obviously, he's the MVP. Drew Brees just got extended as well. Obviously, he was franchise. I don't think I actually reported on that. That he was franchise tagged last year. After his good season, he was franchise tagged, but so he was only playing on the tag this year because he didn't really know what was going on with Sean Payton. Sean Payton comes back, and now he signs a 4-year extension. I think it was fully guaranteed, almost fully guaranteed. Though, see, 127 million of it was guaranteed. So his total salary is about 40 million over the next 4 years. But yeah, he's good. Cam Newton, really good. He's gonna need an extension in about a year or two. Josh Freeman, not as good as he was last year. This is probably one of the best quarterback divisions. Last year, really good. This year, not as good. Obviously, he's on pace to throw 40 touchdowns, but he's also on pace to throw 24 interceptions and 4,000 yards. Doug Martin, Mark Ingram are the top rushers. There's Julio. He's hurt. How many more years do they have Julio? He's out for 3 more weeks, but the numbers were already insane. They have 2 more years. They have this season and next season of Julio. So we'll see what they decide to do. Harry Douglas, Jimmy Graham. All right. Tackles, Mark Barron and Luke Kuechly with the most. Sacks, Charles Johnson. Interceptions, Josh Norman. Here are the kicking stats here. Orlando Moore. Nick Carlucci, he was placed on IR. Who did they sign? I don't think they signed anybody yet. We'll get to that. I'll do that later. The Saints actually punt less than the Falcons. I wouldn't have guessed that. So that is the NFC South. NFC East, Eli Manning, RG3, Michael Vick, Tony Romo. Like the report said earlier, Tony Romo future in Dallas is undecided from the front office at least. I'm willing to bet he would be more than welcome to return to Dallas, but with how with the quarterback market exploding, they're not interested in bringing him back for probably the amount of money that he's going to want. You know, Matt Schaub, who's probably on the same level as Tony Romo, is getting $25 million per year. He's probably a little bit better. So let's say Romo wants $20 million a year for 24 and 18 with 4,000 yards and 8 wins last year. This year they're 1-3. He has 8 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Dallas, we'll see what they do with Tony Romo. Nick Foles got in because Mike Vick got hurt one game. But, I mean, those are the numbers. DeMarco Murray, top rusher in this division. He's really good. Victor Cruz, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Des Bryant, Akeem Nicks, Devery Henderson. Just a bunch of guys. Obviously, you have Jeremy Maclin. Like I said, he's a trade candidate. A lot of wide receivers are trade candidates. Tackles, Jonathan Vilma. Tackles, or quarterback sacks, Ryan Kerrigan. Interceptions, Darrelle Revis and Jonathan Vilma. Darrelle Revis obviously got his big payday after being traded for a first and a second round selection. There's the kicking numbers. Here are the punting numbers. The Cowboys punt the least amount, probably because they turn the ball over the most. That's the NFC East. Last division, NFC West. Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub probably is better. He is better than Tony Romo. So Matt Schaub, $25 million. I'd guess Tony Romo, 18 to $21 million range for somebody like Tony Romo. Sam Bradford having a much improved season. How many years is he under contract for? Last year, he was good. He was all right. This year, he is, I would consider him better. He's under contract for 3 more years. Yeah, because I forgot. He signed a massive rookie contract before there were limits on rookie contracts. Colin Kaepernick, not great. Russell Wilson, really good. All the quarterbacks in this division are pretty good, other with the exception of Kaepernick. Frank Gore, leading rusher. There's Colin Kaepernick. Steven Jackson, Marshawn Lynch. Fitzgerald, Tavon Austin, the rookie, really good season for him. Zach Miller, Steven Jackson, Steve Smith, A.J. Jenkins. What a name that is. Wow, A.J. Jenkins. Anyway, Justin Hunter, rookie, good season so far. Matthew Mulligan, 4 touchdowns. Defensively, Daryl Washington, most tackles. QB sacks, KJ Wright. And interceptions is Ron Parker. Kicking, here are the numbers. Obviously, the 49ers need a new kicker. And punting, Tom Malone has the most. Did they sign? Can I view in depth chart? I can't do that here. Okay. Touchdowns, none from the turn. So that is all the divisions. Now we'll just go to the NFL. Matt Ryan leads the league in yards and touchdowns. Completions is Brian Hoyer. Attempts is Brian Hoyer. Completion percentage from a starting quarterback is Andrew Luck. Rushing. Ryan Matthews has carried it the most. The most yards is Ray Rice. The best yards per carry from a starter is Ray Rice. And the most touchdowns is Mark Ingram, Jamal Charles, and Lamar Miller. Most fumbles from a running back is Joe McKnight. Yeah, he's not very good. That doesn't surprise me at all. Most catches, Victor Cruz. Most touchdowns, or most yards, Victor Cruz. Most touchdowns, Victor Cruz. DeAndre Hopkins right there, too, the rookie. Blocking, we didn't look blocking for teams because no one really cares. Jamarcus Webb allows the most. Mike Adams and Max Unger are right there, too. The top rookie, or I guess the worst rookie, is Kyle Long. Most tackles, Jonathan Vilma. Tackles for loss, we didn't look at that, but nobody really cares about that. Darnell Dockett and Michael Bennett. Most sacks, Charles Johnson and J.J. Watt. Most interceptions, Josh Norman. Nobody cares about kicking or any of that. So those are the numbers from around the league. The last thing we'll look at here is the injury report, and then we will be sending this video. It'll be done. Bears, Lance Lewis, and Michael Bennett. I didn't realize Michael Bennett's out for 10 weeks. Yikes. That is not good. Geno Atkins out for 2 weeks. Marvin Jones out for eight. Or for three. Marvin Malone out for. Well, Marlon Moore out for 8. Jarvis Bird comes back next week. Andre Caldwell and Malik Jackson are out. Buccaneers, Gerald McCoy and Jared Cook. Chargers, Kevin Haslam. Sean Porter for the Chiefs, who I'll put on IR off the video. Reggie Bush, dislocated ankle. Phil Costa, broken collarbone. Dan Carpenter, out for the year with a dislocated elbow, which is pretty funny. I mean, he can still kick, right? Just put a little cast on him, he can still kick. Sean McCoy comes back next week, but Ton Hermans and Colin Jenkins, or Jimenez, is both out for 4 weeks. Falcons, Julio Jones, Justin Blackman, and Matt Bryant out for the year with a foot fracture. Colin Jones for the 49ers. They just placed, I think they placed him on IR in the preseason. I want to say he won't play again this year. They won't waste their activation on him. Tony Scheffler and Jeff Otah for the Lions are hurt. John Beeson and Orlando Marr is hurt and is out for the year with a knee cartilage tear for the Panthers. Sebastian Vollmer, Dante Hightower, Rob Ninkovich, and Shane Vereen all on IR. I assume they're going to activate Dante Hightower, but Vollmer probably is out for the rest of the year. Ninkovich and Shane Vereen also probably both out the rest of the year with a broken collarbone. Raiders, Brian McCann, Ray Rice out for 2 weeks. Commanders, wow, they've been really hit with injury bug. Ryan Kerrigan, Ree Hulu Jr., Jarvis Jenkins, Ellis Hobbs, and Marty Gilliard all out. And that's not all. Nate Washington and Jonathan Casillas. And then Adrian Peterson is out for only 1 more week. So that is the 1/4 season report, quarter league report, and week 4 recap. I will see. Well, first I'm going to go through every team and handle the business. And next video will be out on week 5 recap.